Hello guys, this is CodeNCode and this is 30th lecture of number theory series. In this lecture and also this is second part of linear Diophantine equation. So in this lecture we are going to see what is the general solution for linear Diophantine equation, and we will also be implementing the solution in C++, and we'll be finding the minimum value of the expression x plus y for the given LDA. Let's start. So this was the course outline for LDAs. We have covered part 1 and 2. First and second part we have covered. In this lecture we are going to cover 3 and 5. 4 requires its own lecture because I need to explain a lot of things there, so I won't be explaining 4 here. In this lecture we will be covering part 3 and 3 and 5. We'll be finding the general solution of LDA, and also we'll be finding the minimum value of x plus y for a given LDA. Now, so if you have one solution of a given LDA, then you can you can generate a formula which is capable of providing of all of the solution for that given LDA. So suppose we have LDA ax plus by is equals to c, and g is GCD of a and b, and x0 and y0 is a solution of this LDA that we have found using extended Euclidean algorithm or any algorithm that you want. Basically x0 and y0 is one of the solutions that you have found, most likely using extended Euclidean algorithm. So how we can find the rest of the solution, because if solution exists more and you are not provided with any range, then there are infinite number of solution. So how you can find the rest of the solution? So since x0 y0 is solution of this LDA, so replacing x and y with x0 and y0, this equation, this equality will hold, right? So now since this equality holds, what happens is that if you replace x0 with if you add b by g, remember g is GCD of a comma b, right? If you add b by g in x0 and subtract a by g from y0, the equality, this equality will still be valid. How? See, here x0 has been replaced by x0 plus b by g. I have added b by g in x0, and y0 have been replaced by y0 minus a by g. Simply subtracted a by g from y0. Now if you see x0 plus y, if you expand this expression, you would get ax0 plus by0 plus a times b by g minus b times a by g. These two will cancel out each other, and all you will be left with ax0 plus by0, and ax0 plus by0 is equals to c. So you can see, even though we have added b by g in x0 and subtracted a by g in y0, the equality still holds. So now think what would happen if you add b by g 2 times and subtract a by g 2 times. Similarly 3 times, 3 times add, 3 times subtract, 4 times add, 4 times subtract. Just think what would happen. You see, what would happen is that the equality will still hold. So we can find a conclusion that you can add b by g into x0 any number of times, and the same number of times you have to subtract a by g from y0. This leads us to a general solution, which is this: x is equals to x0 plus k times b by g, y is equals to y0 minus k times a by g. Now here k is an integer. It can be positive, negative. Basically you are adding k times b by g and subtracting k times a by g. So k is an integer, and this is the general solution. So if you have x0 and y0, basically one solution of a given LDA, use extended Euclidean algorithm or whatever algorithm you want, you can find the rest of the solution using this formula. Now here is a simple homework for you. The lecture is not over yet. We have to cover one more thing. So take any LDA, find 5 solutions, and comment it in the comment section. And of course you are not allowed to use programming. Do it using pen and paper. You can see that I usually emphasize on the fact that you should use more pen and paper. That is because of the fact the more you play with the algorithms using pen and paper, the better your mind will be with working those algorithms, the better your mind will learn those algorithms. So I just want to make sure that you guys understand extended Euclidean algorithm as deep as possible. So use extended Euclidean algorithm to find one solution of any LDA, like 3x plus 5y is equals to 17 or something like that. And then since you have one solution, use extended Euclidean algorithm using pen and paper, of course, find first solution, and then using the formula that we have found, that we have generated in the previous slide for general solution, use that formula to generate the rest 4 solution. Print any file in the comment section, comment your LDA that you have taken along with your 5 solution. Now let's move on for the next section, that is finding the minimum value for x plus y. Now the question is, given an LDA, find the solution xy such that x plus y is minimum possible, minimum among all possible solutions, because we know that for an LDA there are infinite number of solutions if you are not provided with a range, right? So among all possible xy, you have to print that pair of such that the sum is minimum possible. So hint for you is that pause the video and take this hint. Think in terms of the general solution that we have found. S is equals to x naught plus k times b by g, and y is equals to y naught minus k times a by g, right? Use that general solution to minimize this sum. Just pause the video and think for some time. I'm going to continue. So see, we already know that x and y a general solution for x and y, right? So if you write down general solution of x and y, it would, and yeah, combine the terms containing k, it would look like x0 plus y0 plus k times b by g minus a by g, right? Which will lead you to this formula, x plus y, x0 plus y0 plus k times b by a minus e. Now this is the formula which we'll be using to find the minimum sum x plus y. How? See, final solution we have is x0 plus y0 plus k times b minus a by g. Here if you see, x0 and y0, g, a and b, all of them are constant except k, right? We can vary k, we can choose k. If we are given range, we can choose what is the minimum k, what is the maximum k. If you are not provided any k, any range, then you can choose k to be minus infinity or plus infinity. Nevertheless, depending upon b and a, the combination of b and a, we have 3 different cases. First, if a is smaller than b. Now if a is smaller than b, then this whole term b minus a would come out to be positive. In that case, you need to choose the minimum possible k. Now why am I saying minimum possible k is that if you are provided any range, then you cannot choose k as minus infinity. Otherwise, if you are not provided any range, the solution is going to be minus infinity, because b minus a by g is positive, right? B minus, since a is smaller than b, so b minus a by g is of course going to be positive. You can choose minus infinity, k as minus infinity. The solution will come out to be, minimum solution will come out to be minus infinity. If you are provided any range that x should be in this range, like x should be in minus 5 to plus 5 and y should be 0 to 10, in that case you cannot choose k arbitrarily, like you cannot choose k to be minus infinity. In that case, you need to pick k such that x and y do not go beyond their provided range. And how we can do that, we'll be learning in that in next lecture. But the thing is that you cannot choose k minus infinity or plus infinity, or you cannot choose k such that x and y go beyond their range if you are provided any range. That is why I'm telling you that choose the minimum possible k. So if the range is not provided, you can choose minus infinity. Otherwise, you have to choose the minimum k such that x and y don't go beyond their range. If you choose minimum k, because x naught plus y naught, x0 plus y0, this is a constant term, this is also a constant term, the whole thing depends upon the value of k. So choose minimum k because this term is positive. If a is greater than b, if a is greater than b, this whole term is going to be negative, right? So in that case, you need to choose maximum possible k, so that this whole term gets as negative as possible. And that is why in that case you need to choose the biggest possible k. And finally, if a is equals to z, if a is equals to b, no matter what value of k you choose, the result, this whole term is going to be 0. And the minimum value does not depend, basically is independent of value of k, because no matter what value of k you choose, the result is going to be x0 plus y0. So the minimum value is going to be x0 plus y0 because this whole term is going to be 0. So these are 3 possible cases. Now the choice of smallest k and the biggest k depends upon the given range, right? And how you can choose the minimum and the maximum k I'll be telling you in the next lecture. So this was all for this lecture. Remember your homework. So this was, yeah, complete your homework, comment it down in the comment section. And yep, this was all for this lecture. Thank you guys for watching. Until the next video drops, keep coding. Thank you. Oh yeah, one more thing. sorry, I forget. We also have to look at the implementation of the solution, right? So here's the implementation. I just forgot about that, sorry. So we are reading A, B and C for LDA. This is an implementation of finding any solution for a given LDA. If the solution exists, we'll be printing the values of xy. If solution does not exist, we'll print no solution exists, right? So first what we are doing, we are reading A, B and C, the integer coefficient A, B and C, and then we are calling the function find any solution, providing A, B and C along with x and y. X and y are passed using reference, so any change that is made inside this function to x and y will be reflected back. Basically whatever value is changed here, the x and y's will be updated because they are passed through reference. So if solution does not exist, this find any solution will return false. If false is returned, of course I'm printing no solution, otherwise I'm printing the values of x and y. And how it is finding the solution, see, first we are finding the x0 and y0, which I have explained in the previous lecture. That first what we do, we try to find the solution of ax plus by is equals to gcd of a comma b, right? We try to find the solution of that, and after we have found the solution of that, how do we find the solution of that? Using extended Euclidean algorithm, and this is extended Euclidean algorithm. How do we do that? We pass a and b, which can be negative, that is why I'm passing their absolute value, and we pass x0 and y0 here. So basically x0 and y0 will contain the solution of LDA ax plus by is equals to gcd of a comma b. I have explained in the previous lecture why do we do that. First we find x0 and y0, and of course gcd function, extended Euclidean algorithm, will return gcd. If c is not divisible by gcd, we are returning false, because c must be divisible by gcd for solution to exist. If c is not divisible by the gcd of a comma b, then we are returning false. In that case we are printing no solution exists. Otherwise solution x would be x0 times c by g and y0 times c by g. I have explained in detail how this works. So what we are doing, we are calling extended Euclidean algorithm to find x0 and y0. After finding x0 and y0, x and y would be x0 times c by g, y0 would be y would be y0 times c by g. And if is negative, remember we have found the solution of ax plus by is equals to c, not minus ax plus by, right? So if there is any negative sign, we will pass it to x. So if the if a is negative, so we'll pass this sign to x. So the solution would be of a times minus x. So similarly for b, if b is negative, we are passing that sign to y, so that the solution is still of the form ax plus by is equals to c. It is not of the form minus ax or something like that. Then minus sign we are passing simply to the variables x and y and returning true. So now x and y, since they were passed using reference, contain the solution, and we are printing the solutions here. Let's run this. I hope this is visible. Let's see, let's say we have these many test cases. A is equals to 3x plus 5y is equals to say 8, right? No, 8 would be too simple, 10 would be too simple, 9, oh come on, sorry, 6, say 6. Okay, so here you can see x is equals to 12 and y is equals to minus 6, because solution exists, because the gcd of 3 and 5 would be 1, and 1 divides 6, so the solution exists. So if you see 12 times 3 is 36, and 5 times minus 6 is plus, is minus 30. So plus 36 minus 30 is will come out to be 6, right? So solution works. Let's do this again. 2x plus say 3y is equals to 10. Okay, so minus 10 plus 10, I mean you can multiply them and see this solution exists. Now let's try for something that for some x and y such that solution does not exist. 4 and 8 and 7 solution does not exist because the GCD of 4 and 8 is 4 and 4 does not divide 7, that is why solution does not exist. So this was the solution. I'll be providing the code in the description of the video as well. So this was, now we are ending the lecture here. So this was all for this lecture. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any doubt or query, you can ask me in the comment section. So thank you guys for watching. Until the next video drops, keep coding. Thank you.